afternoon, everybody. It's Wednesday, July 22nd. Today's video is going to be all about talking altcoins, if we are in a bubble, and if Bitcoin and crypto is going to push up higher. And by the end of this video, I'm going to give you guys one altcoin that I'm specifically paying attention to and that I've started to build a position in. Okay, so first things first, I want to explain my background. I've been trading for about 11 years now. I've traded equities, commodities, Forex, crypto for the last 4 years almost now. The one thing that I can tell you that I've learned in my years of experience of trading is that you have to, first of all, manage your risk. You have to learn that trading is a zero-sum game. The only point of the game is to be profitable. The person who is profitable day in and day out is the person who wins day in and day out. Nothing else matters, okay? So when it comes to trading and investing, it's pretty much the same across the board, whether you're trading in Forex, crypto, commodities, equities, or anything else really. The one thing that you need to know about trading in general is that a substantial amount of the money is made in trending markets. And especially a lot of that money is made when bubbles are forming. Today's discussion is going to be specifically about altcoin, or specifically the DeFi bubble that is being created. First of all, I'm going to define, first of all, if we're in a bubble, and if so, where are we in that bubble? Which phase are we in? Is there money to be made, or should we be cautious and get out or just not get in? So I wanted to reiterate this quote by George Soros. He always talks about when he sees a bubble forming, he rushes to buy it, adding fuel to the fire. This is one of his key tenets of hopping into trades where he does see bubbles forming, because he knows that there's a significant amount of money to be made. Now, unlike George Soros, unfortunately, you or myself or anyone really watching this video, we're not as experienced, nor do we have the intellectual capacity nor the capital to be able to take significant risk, as well as understand exactly, quote unquote, when the bubble is popping. So when do you take profit and you actually get out? Well, today, I think I'm going to break down the current altcoin and DeFi bubble in a manner that will help you understand exactly when you can think about getting in, how you can get in, capitalize on that, and get out properly without any scratches, and actually walk out with some money, okay? And like I said, by the end of this video, I'm going to be listing one coin that is going to show you significant upside potential, almost upwards to 3,000 to 5,000%, okay? So let's get started, all right? First things first, what I want to discuss is you need to understand that altcoins largely depend on Bitcoin. If Bitcoin is dumping, or the market overall is dumping in crypto, most altcoins will not do so well, okay? They're not going to give you great opportunities. In fact, they might be more traps than anything that lure in investors, and then you're going to be holding your bags for a long time. So the one thing that we need from specifically Bitcoin is that we need to first see US equities still doing well. Now, what we've seen over the last several weeks, several months, is that US equities have pushed higher, gold has pushed higher, silver has pushed higher, even oil has pushed higher. And government printing has been relentless, right? So these are the perfect conditions, first of all, for Bitcoin to also push higher, okay? If it does not push higher, again, the reason I am reiterating this is because when I talk about altcoins potentially being in a bubble, that bubble could itself be popped very quickly by Bitcoin itself being popped, okay? Or rather, Bitcoin going down. So the health of Bitcoin, understanding where it is in terms of its larger structure, is critically important. So the first thing that I want to discuss is we've been in this sideways range between 8 or 10K for the last 2.5 months. This is a positive sign for altcoins because they've gotten to party, because the Bitcoin prices are high. Bitcoin has been retaining its dollar value. There's not a whole lot of volatility in Bitcoin. And so altcoins have been popping off like crazy, right? They've been going 100%. Some are going 500%, 1,000, 2,000% in a couple weeks, or maybe even a couple months. So the question is, well, are we in a bubble? We are definitely, first of all, in a bubble. When it comes to DeFi, there's all these articles that I've pulled up. First of all, I want to show you guys Google Trends, okay? Google Trends for the last several weeks have been kicking up in terms of the DeFi search terms. I also did a Twitter scraping of how much DeFi, the hashtag DeFi coins such as Comp and Lend, what is it called, SNX, all these different coins, how much have they been getting tagged or being mentioned? And it is a significant amount, significant amount. So these are all characteristics of a bubble. Why? Because what you have right now is the development of high prices, okay? You have the search terms being trending. What you have is euphoria and kind of like a FOMO that's going on into the market, but we are not at this stage up here yet. I personally believe that we are somewhere between this area right here. We might be coming into the first sell-off and maybe the bear trap, or we might be somewhere up here. But I don't believe at present moment that we are at the top. That bodes very well for us, right? Because at present moment, if you're looking at the total market cap of altcoins and Bitcoin, let's actually look at only the total market cap of just altcoins. This is the total market cap of altcoins excluding Bitcoin, okay? As you can see so far, we've been trending up very nicely. We've put in this movement up, sideways, pushed up again right there, sideways, pushed up again. And we've actually, while doing so, broken above some key resistance levels, which was this $93 billion marker. From here, I believe that the next most obvious point is probably up here to around $122 billion. So that means about $22 billion more or so. Well, not 22, yeah, 22 to 24 is the amount of market cap that could be generated in this next phase of this stage that we're about to enter. Again, I want to be careful because I want to state the caveat that none of this matters if Bitcoin is not going to hold in this range or push higher. Personally, what I'm thinking is that Bitcoin is trying to set itself up to push higher. I don't know if it's going to happen just yet. We need to get past this key high right here, 9450, 9500. If that happens, that opens up the doors for Bitcoin to push higher and then potentially altcoins to push higher as well. Okay, so at present moment, just to recap, I believe that we are somewhere in this area right here, possibly between the first sell-off and the media attention slowly coming, because the media attention is coming. I heard on Bloomberg talks about DeFi, and I heard on a finance network called Real Vision talks about DeFi. Yahoo Finance is talking about DeFi, right? There are Bloomberg articles even on Twitter talking about DeFi. There was a Forbes article the other day talking about DeFi. You know, there are Medium articles that are coming from exchanges like OKX and many other individuals who are talking about DeFi. So I think this is the most appropriate place that we can place the current bubble. All right. So what does that mean for us? Okay. Well, that means that we now have enough evidence to tell us that we're not at the top, at least not that I can ascertain. Okay. But we are still somewhere maybe in the beginning half or entering the second half of this current stage of the bubble, which is great. So the coins that we need to pay attention to, of course, as you guys very well know, DeFi is very, very famous and it's, you know, popping off like crazy right now, right? It's doing very well, lots of attention. This is where you want to focus your attention to. Now, I've heard a famous investor, his name is Beneet Kotari. He worked at Duquesne's Capital, which is owned by Stanley Druckenmiller. His point was that what you want to pay attention to when you're building a portfolio, okay, is that you don't want to diversify too much. Now, this obviously goes against the traditional thinking of you must diversify. Well, his take is that, you know, yes, don't put all your eggs in one basket, but put a few eggs in that basket and make sure that, you know, those are the eggs that you want to focus on. So for example, if you had 100 eggs in one basket, don't do that. Maybe put 10 and just watch that basket very, very carefully. So this is how we go about building our portfolio. With the same logic, we start paying attention to coins within the DeFi space, the altcoins that are developing characteristics that show there's money coming in and volume coming in, indicative of more upside to come. So at present moment, there's one coin that I was paying attention to, which popped off really well. Okay. Now, of course, you guys know Lend took off aggressively, but did you know that Lend started showing very unique characteristics way the heck down here at the bottom? I want you to pay very close attention to this. Okay. Around December 2019, January 2020, look at the volume. Okay. Specifically, look at the volume right here compared to all this stuff in the past, 6 months or almost a year before that. Not even comparable, right? So this shows us that there were some big buyers who stepped in right at the end of the year, beginning of the year, and they pushed up and bought up a significant amount of the asset, which was Lend. Okay, we can even go into this asset right here, dig in closer. Look at the volume, right? Prior to that, the volume was maybe 10 million, 20 million, 30 million sell side volume. But then the buy side came in one day, right? And it spiked up aggressively, 697 million. Next day, 578 million. The next day, 459 million. So almost $2 billion or so went into Lend right here. Okay. Now, again, I can't definitively say that this was actual $2 billion worth of buying, or it was potentially, 500 million and the other 1.5 billion was like a squeeze, like a short squeeze. But in either case, lots of volume went into this. And guess what happened, right? The follow-up to that was from this area all the way up, we made a high percentage growth from here all the way up here, almost at 1,100% movement. So the question is, what are some other coins like this? Now, there's one that I want to talk about specifically, and it is Quark chain. Okay. Again, none of what I'm going to tell you right now, guys, is financial advice. This is my own research. I'm going to be putting my own money into this. You can follow if you want to, and then you can thank me a couple months later if this does well. But it's up to you to do your own research. Check this out. What I just showed you about Lend, same thing, right? Sideways movement for a long time, very, very low volume, almost for a good year or so. Okay, going back, way the heck back here, almost a year. And then what happens, right? We see a decent spike in volume. First day right there, we see about 344 million. Again, prior to that, the volume was 19 million, 40 million, way back here, 116 million, but very little nonetheless. Then you see this big spike in volume, 2.75 billion. Lots of money coming in, okay? So, point is, we now know that the stage is set. Someone is buying Quark chain in big sums. And after that, what we're seeing is after this reaccumulation phase, we're now seeing a markup. In traditional assets, we basically have 3 different phases of looking at markets. We have a markup, distribution, and then markdown. Okay, same thing has happened for Quark chain way the heck back here. So let's go to the weekly chart, right? Way the heck back here, prior to that 2017 bubble that we had a big markup, right? Distribution and then markdown. Again, more sideways reaccumulation. Now we're in that markup phase again. So where does that markup phase potentially take us to? Well, at present moment, here are some of the big targets that I'm seeing. First of all, the first target nearby is right around 310. Price right now is 104. That's almost a 200% movement. Next target is 750. Beyond that, 1,025, 1,400, and then way the heck up here around 4,600, which was the open of this weekly candle, and possibly even higher. Quark Chain has two events coming out. September, they have a mainnet upgrade. December, I think they have a live user testnet, something like that, coming out. So this bodes really well because now we're entering the phase of fall, or I guess summer going into fall. And we know that Quark Chain right now is in a markup phase, right? Over the next several months, what I expect from this coin is very, very volatile movement to the upside. If we're wrong, we're probably going to be wrong down here, somewhere around 40 sats or so. And so you must be comfortable saying that, you know what, I'm happy to take a risk on a position like Quark Chain because my upside potential is 189%, 800%, 1300%, or almost as high as 5,000%. But you must also be willing to lose 50 to 60% in this position if it does come down. You could cut out of it early if you do get scared. But remember, if I'm entering this position, I'm going to be buying from where it is right now all the way down to this block, right around 70 sats. So that's a 30% drop from where we are right now. And I'm going to be okay with that if that drops, okay? This is how you manage your risk. So you need to allocate capital in such a way that a 30% drop or accumulating 30% down doesn't significantly impact you. And let's just say this thing goes to shit and it doesn't work out. Bitcoin crashes, equities crash, altcoins crash. Well, then you must be okay with losing 50% of that money, 60% of that money, or maybe even more. Okay? But the upside potential is definitely there. I'm not going to tell you guys to buy. You do your own research. This is not investment advice, but I'm definitely paying attention to Quark Chain. I will be buying Quark Chain, and I'm expecting some of these targets or all of these targets to get hit. So going back to the original conversation, if we're currently looking at total market cap excluding Bitcoin, and I've drawn some wave counts right here where, in my bearish counts, this is kind of what I have, right? This comes back from way the heck back here in December 2018. This is still, in my opinion, a bubble that's slowly popping. But remember, bubbles take sometimes a long time to pop. And sometimes some of these companies survive. You'll never really know which companies are going to survive. This is why you need to have a VC style investment attitude when approaching these projects, when investing in these projects. The VC style of investing is that, say you invest in 100 different companies. 50 of those are probably not going to work out, meaning 50 of those you're going to lose all your money in. 30 to 40% of those 100, okay? So 50% you already lost your money on. 30 to 40% of those, you might get, some of your money back, maybe break even. The lasting 10%, that is where you make the most amount of money. Sometimes you make 3x, sometimes you make 5x, sometimes you make 25x. This is the traditional style of VC investing. VCs know what they're getting into. This is why they have millions and billions of dollars in different seed investments, different rounds, where they put money into a substantial amount of companies. Now, you and I don't have the kind of money that VCs do. So this is why we need to default back to the Duquesne's, the Beneath Qatari style of attitude, which again comes from Stanley Druckenmiller, the OG of investors. And he talks about how when you look at investing, you need to kind of look at it, the not all eggs in one basket kind of attitude, but twist it a little bit and say, okay, well, I'm not going to put all my eggs in one basket, but I might put 5 or 10. And I'm going to make sure I watch that basket very, very carefully. So that means in this particular instance, you can have, let's just say, a couple Ks or a couple $1,000 going into some of these altcoins. I'm definitely putting in some decent amount of money into Quark Chain. But the way I'm investing is I am saying that, okay, if I put, say, $10,000 into Quark Chain, all right, I'm expecting that $10,000 at worst case to drop 50%. But at best case, I make, 5,000%. In the, moderate case, I make maybe 300%, maybe 500%. And I'm okay with that. So when you are investing in things like Quark Chain, or if you're investing in coins like DeFi, you do not need to dive into every single DeFi coin. Because remember, the DeFi market as a whole, it's now all trending together. Yes, you might say that, okay, well, so-and-so coin went up 100% versus another one just went up 20%. Okay, well, diversify. Put in some chips into that other coin that went up 1,000%, just in case it pops up another 1,000%. But your best bet is that you want to focus on the coins that haven't broken out yet. The ones that have events coming up in the next several months, the ones that are within the DeFi space that look promising. But again, you need to be careful knowing that this is a very risky asset class or a sub asset class. So make sure that you have a talk with yourself before you enter and dive into this particular asset class, because it is definitely a bubble, and we don't necessarily know which stage of the bubble that we're in. I'm fairly confident that we're in this area, but again, if Bitcoin decides to crap out, if the equity markets decide to crap out, this could just roll over, and then we could be down here. We could just basically teleport from here to here and then down. That's what happens. Unfortunately, bubbles just pop spontaneously like that. Okay. So at present moment, what I am looking at is Bitcoin potentially pushing higher, or best case scenario, Bitcoin just moves sideways even for the next several, months, maybe another month or two. And that allows opportunities like Quark Chain, like SNX, which is another coin that I have my eye on, okay, to potentially pop off. There's another one called Ample. This is another one which I personally think is great. I'm not going to be investing that much into Ample or SNX, to be completely honest. But Quark Chain, because I've been following that project since 2017, 2018 days, I feel much more comfortable that that project has been around and it hasn't died yet. These coins are fairly new. I don't really know a whole lot about DeFi other than the fact that I've read about it on Twitter. I've read articles about it from OKX and different exchanges. I've watched YouTube videos about it, heard podcasts about it, but I don't really have that much experience, right? And so when I don't have that much experience in something, especially when it comes to investing money, I'm not going to dive in deep, okay? I'm going to dip my toes into the water, see how it is, and if I feel good about it, I might put some more money in. But until then, Ample and SNX are on my radar, but I don't know if I'm going to put, a significant amount of capital in it. Quark Chain, definitely, okay? Let me see here. So with Ample, same thing right here, right? I see this almost 6 month plus sideways ranging right here. Now, if I'm looking at this, I'm thinking, okay, this could potentially be a reaccumulation. This could be a pop-up. Now, if price comes back down towards this area or lower, then this was a fake out and then we're going to sell off further. But if price holds up above these markers right here, like 23,000 Satoshis or above this marker, I think Ample has, a much higher potential, okay? So these are my thoughts at present moment, okay? Ample, SNX, and especially Quark Chain. You can go read about all this stuff on Medium or Twitter. I have a lot of retweets on my Twitter timeline, and you can read about this stuff. Do your own research. Don't just blindly listen to me and say, okay, I'm going to jump into SNX or Quark Chain or any of this stuff, okay? Because I'm not telling you to, all right? I'm telling you exactly what I'm going to do. So I wanted to do this video of trying to explain to you guys that what I don't see right now is the aggressive 2017 like euphoria. And this was actually well documented in this Yahoo article too, is the rise in notoriety of DeFi is eerily reminiscent of the ICO bubble in 2017. Agreed. But we don't have nearly the same amount of people nor the interest peaking just yet. I personally think that this could develop into something bigger. Now, if it doesn't, that's okay. But if it does, it could be pretty massive and you want to be paying attention to it, okay? So make sure you do your due diligence, do your research, and again, make sure you understand the risks of investing in cryptocurrency because you could very well lose everything. All right. So again, not financial advice. I want you guys, to pay attention to some of these altcoins that I listed. Do your own research. And again, if you are interested in joining our community, the Discord link is below. In our Discord channels right here, we have altcoin trading specifically. We discuss a ton about altcoins, a lot of cool information that we have over here. Everyone is very interested. We have a Bitcoin community right here too, where we discuss Bitcoin only, short positions, long positions, scalp positions that we're taking. So all that information is present and live and available for our Advantage paying members. Okay. And you can go on our website, cryptosomniac.com. Again, we're still rebranding from Alpha Trades, or from Cryptosomniac to Alpha Trades. But do go on our website, sign up, and come join us if you want more information of how we're trading altcoins, how we're trading Bitcoins, or how we're trading equities. Come join our community. Okay, that's it, guys. Hope you guys enjoy this analysis. Make sure you hit the thumbs up if you do. Share this content. Again, I've got a lot of attention and analysis that I've done on Quark chain. I believe that this coin can make it upwards of at least 300%, possibly even 1,000 to 2,000% plus. But do your own research. Cryptocurrency is very, very risky investing. All right. So if you do want to go talk to your financial advisor, go for it. That's it. Hope this was enjoyable. I hope y'all hit the thumbs up. Hope you join our community. Until then, take care, make some gains. I'll talk to y'all soon. Cheers.